Hello and welcome. My name is Mufida Al-Digeil. I'm an educator, author, and education consultant working with teachers and schools across the UAE. Much of my work focuses on supporting teachers and families in creating environments where children feel safe, supported, and able to thrive emotionally as well as academically. Over the years, especially during times of uncertainty in our communities and in the wider world, have seen how deeply children can be affected by the emotions that are happening around them, even when they don't fully understand what is happening. This short resource was created to offer simple guidance for teachers and parents on how we can support children emotionally during uncertain times. Thank you for taking the time to explore this resource. Times of uncertainty can affect children in ways that are not always immediately visible. Children may hear conversations, see things on the news, or simply notice that adults around them are feeling worried or tense. Even if children do not fully understand what is happening, they are very aware that something feels very different. In this guide, we will look at how children experience uncertainty, how we can recognize when they may be struggling, and some simple ways adults can help children feel safe and supported. It's very important to understand that children notice more than we realize. Children are incredibly observant. Even when adults try to shield them from difficult conversations, children often pick up on subtle signs in their environment. They notice the changes that are happening in routine, the tone of our voices, or the mood in the room. They may overhear conversations between adults or catch small pieces of information from television or social media. Because children are still developing their understanding of their world, they may not always know how to interpret what they're seeing or hearing, but they still sense that something is different. This is why children are often more aware of emotional tension than we might ever expect. So, what happens when children don't understand? When children notice that something unusual or uncertain is going on, they naturally try to make the best sense they can of it. However, if they don't receive clear explanations that match their level of understanding, their imagination can begin to fill the gaps. Sometimes children may imagine situations that are much more frightening than reality. This can lead to feelings of worry, confusion, or even fear. Because young children often struggle to express complex emotions in words, these feelings may not always be communicated directly. Instead, they may appear through changes in their behavior. Now, during these times, I've talked to many different parents, and the parents that have shown calmness themselves are noticing that their children are calmer. When the adults are experiencing anxiety and distress, oftentimes they will tell me that their children are unsettled, they're unhappy, they're crying. And so let's explore this a little bit more. So one of the most important things to remember is that children often take their emotional cues from the adults around them. They're watching how we react to situation and they use that as a guide for how they are supposed to be feeling. So if the adults are appearing calm and reassuring, children are more likely to feel safe. But if adults appear anxious, upset, or overwhelmed, children may absorb these as well. This doesn't mean adults should be hiding their feelings, but it just means that our calm presence and reassurance can really help children feel more safe and secure. Why is this important? Before children are able to focus on anything, learning, playing, exploring, they first need to feel emotionally safe. A sense of safety helps children to regulate their own emotions and manage stress. It allows them to concentrate in the class, it allows them to connect with others better, and it allows them to develop confidence. When children feel safe and supported, they're much better able to cope with uncertainty. That emotional foundation is incredibly important for their overall development and well being. Now, recognizing signs of emotional distress is very important for us. So let's talk a little bit about this. Children don't always say what they're feeling. They don't express their feelings directly, especially if they don't have the right vocabulary. In many cases, children communicate what they're experiencing through their behavior. As teachers and parents, we often notice these changes before a child is able to explain what they're feeling. Recognizing these signs early allows adults to respond with care and understanding. It helps us provide support before small worries grow into larger emotional difficulties. When children are experiencing strong emotions but do not yet have the language to describe them, those feelings often appear through behavior. A child who is feeling overwhelmed may become unusually quiet. Another child may become irritable or easily frustrated. Some children may struggle to concentrate or seem distracted during activities. These behaviors are not only a sign of disobedience or poor attitude. Often they're simply a child's way of communicating that something is bothering them. So, what could you notice? There's several signs adults might notice when a child is struggling emotionally. A child who's normally confident might suddenly become quiet or withdrawn. Another child may become more irritable or frustrated than normal. Some children may be more clingy, more close to adults, or appear unusually worried. Others might lose interest in activities they usually enjoy. These changes can be very subtle, but they often provide important information and clues about how a child is feeling internally. Not only do you notice those, there's some also physical signs that you could look out for. Emotional stress that does not always show itself through behavior alone. Sometimes children experience physical symptoms when they're feeling anxious or overwhelmed. They may complain of headaches or stomach aches. They might appear unusually tired or have difficulty sleeping. These physical signs can sometimes be a child's way of expressing emotional discomfort. When we notice these patterns, it can be helpful to gently explore what might be causing them. So the key message here is that when a child's behavior changes suddenly, it is often a sign that they need understanding and support. Instead of focusing only on the behavior, it is helpful to consider what the child might be feeling beneath it all. By looking beyond the behavior, adults can respond with empathy and guidance rather than frustration. This approach helps children feel seen, supported, and safe. So let's talk about how we could help children feel safe and supported. The reassuring news is that small, consistent actions from adults can make a very big difference in how children feel. Children do not need complex explanations or dramatic solutions. What they need most is a sense of stability, reassurance, and connection with adults who care for them. Teachers and parents both play a very important role in creating this sense of safety. Even simple everyday actions can help children regain their sense of the power of routine. Routine is incredibly comforting for children. When the world around them feels uncertain, predictable routines give children a sense of stability and control. Knowing what will happen next during the day helps children relax and feel secure. So communicate these with your children. In classrooms and at home, maintaining consistent schedules can help children feel very grounded. Even small routines like, the morning greetings or reading quiet time or going to the kitchen together and preparing meals together. These small routines and having the child understand what is happening next could really go a long way in supporting your child's well-being. Another very important thing to recognize and talk about is feelings. When children express worry, fear, or confusion, one of the most helpful things adults can do is acknowledge those feelings. So when they are showing up, sometimes the problem is that sometimes adults try to dismiss these emotions by saying things like, "Don't worry, everything is fine." While the intention is really good, this can actually make children feel like their emotions are not understood. So instead, simple responses like, "I can see that something is worrying you. It's okay to feel like this sometimes." These little words of acknowledgement rather than dismissal can really help children feel heard. So feeling understood is the first step towards feeling calm again. Another thing to do is to encourage questions and conversation. Children are naturally curious, and during uncertain times, they may have so many questions. Create the space for calm conversations that help children to process their thoughts and emotions. When answering questions, it is helpful to use simple language that matches the age of the child and the level of understanding and maturity. Children don't always need detailed explanations. It's as simple as something's going on, things are going to be all right, but what are you feeling right now? Give me the questions that are going to help you understand so I can make you feel more assured. Often, what they need most is reassurance that the adults around them are there to support them. And children feel a lot safer when their questions are welcomed. Here's some simple calming activities that you could do. Sometimes children benefit from small activities that help them to slow down and relax. Breathing exercises can help children calm their bodies and mind. Storytelling can also provide a gentle way for children to explore emotions through characters and situations. Quiet reflection time, drawing, or short movement breaks can also help children release tension. These simple activities create moments of calm that allow children to reset emotionally. So, supporting children together. Children feel most secure when the adults around them are working together. When teachers and parents share information and support one another, children receive consistent messaging of reassurance. This sense of unity helps children feel that the adults in their lives are working together to keep them safe. Partnership between school and home is an important part of supporting children during these uncertain times. Communication between teachers and parents can be very helpful when supporting children. Teachers may notice changes in behavior at school, while parents may observe changes at home. But currently, when we're talking about school, we're also talking about online education. By sharing observations and discussing concerns early, adults can work together to provide the right support. Even small conversations between adults can make meaningful difference in a child's experiences. Another one that is very important is to manage exposure. Children may hear or see things that cause worry. Children today are often exposed to a large amount of information through conversations, all the online media, the social media. You're probably scrolling, not realizing how much of it is retained by your child. This information can feel overwhelming and confusing. Adults can support children by helping them understand what they hear in a calm and balanced way. It can also be helpful to limit unnecessary exposure to distressing news. So just turn off the phones, keep them away, listen to it when there needs to listen to it. There are also all these warning sounds that we're hearing. There's a way to talk to your children about them and why we're getting them and how they're important for us and how the country is supporting us during this time. So children would benefit from reassurance and clear explanation rather than constant exposure to worrying information. Now, something very important. We have to care for ourselves. Supporting children emotionally can also be very, very challenging and demanding for us adults. Teachers and parents may sometimes feel tired or emotionally affected when children are struggling. Take some time to care for your own well-being. It's not selfish, it's absolutely necessary. When adults feel calm, rested, and supported, they're much better able to support reassurance and guidance to children. Caring for yourself allows you to care for others more effectively. When children are feeling heard, supported, and safe, they develop the confidence and resilience needed to manage difficult emotions. Small moments of reassurance from adults can have a lasting impact on a child's sense of security. By working together, teachers, parents, and caregivers, we create environments where children feel safe enough to grow and learn and thrive. I want to thank you for taking the time to explore this resource and for the important role you play